guys are so quiet this morning. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I like that song, so I try to remember that St. Patrick's Day is coming, and then I play it. Well, let's start. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, in the heart of Las Cruces, this beautiful Sunday morning. Wonderful to see you all, and I'm Sarah. This is Dawn and Doug, and we're going to start you off with a couple of songs. And yeah, it's just such a special thing to sing together. It's a good together thing. So I invite you to stand if that's comfortable. Otherwise, stay seated. Yeah.
I see joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom. I see the beauty that lives in me. I see perfection in what life brings. I see God in everything. I feel joy, I feel peace, I feel goodness surrounding me. I feel love in every breath I breathe. I feel God in everything. I feel happiness, I feel freedom. I feel the beauty that lives in me. I feel perfection in what life brings. I feel God in everything. I know joy, I know peace, I know goodness surrounding me. I know love in every breath I breathe. I know God in everything. I know happiness, I know freedom. I know the beauty that lives in me. I know perfection in what life brings. I know God in everything. I know God's in everything. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. I will be, I will be, I will be.
Beautiful. That's a gorgeous song. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day, a day early to everyone as well, if you celebrate that. I'm Reverend Bonnie, the community spiritual leader here at the center, and it's great as somebody who said it already, Sarah, it's great to see everybody out there. It's wonderful to have you all here, and it's starting to balance out. Usually this side's a lot heavier than that side, but we're getting there. And we're getting more people in the front row. That's good, don't worry. You can move on forward. And hello to everybody online. It's wonderful to have you with us today and anyone who watches us later on YouTube. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, where our vision is a world in loving partnership for the good of all. And I want to welcome anyone visiting for the first time. We do have a packet of information, and it has a gift certificate to the bookstore in it, so be sure to pick one up if someone hasn't already handed you one. And in there, you can sign up. There's a form on the front to sign up for our newsletter. Please sign up for the newsletter. I noticed that since today is our potluck after the service, and we sent out a special email blast yesterday, that it must have worked because we got food this Sunday. So thank you all for bringing food. Those of you who did, you're welcome to stay if you didn't. There's usually plenty of food after. And then I will be having a new member orientation for anyone interested in joining. We've had a few people come up and tell me they would like to join. So hopefully you're all here and you can just grab me. We'll go in there. You can bring your food and I'll just talk away while you eat. And I also want to let you all know, I'm a bit sad, but we have to support people on their path. Lillian Pilot, who's been serving us for several years now as one of our practitioners, is planning to move out of the country. Yeah, so next Sunday will be her last Sunday speaking to us. And in the meantime, we have a card here. Deb's holding it up in the back. Anyone who wants to sign her card and wish her well and tell her all the wonderful things that you've gotten from her, feel free to sign that card after the service and we'll give it to her next week. Let's see. And on the 27th, I saw we have a new book study, and it's called It's Up to You. It's a book by Ernest Holmes, and that'll be on Thursdays from 10:30 to 12, starting on the 27th. Who's doing that one? Edie, yay, facilitated by Edie. Thank you. And on March 29th, the last Saturday of this month, there will be a flute playing workshop with Armand and Angeline. It's Armand usually that teaches the flute playing. He brings flutes and he has separate mouthpieces that are reusable that get washed in between. So you don't have to have your own flute. So if you want to learn how to play, it's the Native American flute. Come on Saturday the 29th from 1 to 3. And that evening from 5 to 7 will be their new music for a magical musical comedy concert. And they are a lot of fun. So come and see them. And then they will be doing our service on Sunday morning, the 30th. And then after that, later in the evening on Sunday the 30th, is a Celtic music concert here from 5 to 7. A lot of music happening, so we're excited about that. And we are gearing up for our treasure sale to be the last weekend in April, but we will start collecting donations on the 24th of March. So as you clear out your closets and do your spring cleaning, prepare to bring stuff here, and we will happily see what we can get with that. And then of course there will be a place that also gets the leftover donations, and this just keeps giving and giving once we start these yard sales. At this time, please welcome our platform assistant, Tina Bailey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As you know, we believe in the power of prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. And we have a dynamic prayer network in Las Cruces consisting of the 4 New Thought groups and the ministers of those groups. We come together weekly and we hold your prayer requests in confidence. So if you have something going on in your life that you just want to turn over to Spirit and let Spirit work through you to see it to fruition, please fill out the prayer request card that's in the chair in front of you and put it in the offering plate. It's kept in confidence. So you can rest assured that it's private between the prayer group and you. Also, there is a button on the website that you can put a prayer request in, for those of you who want to do that. And so when you fill out your prayer request this morning, fold it and put it in the offering plate, and I'll collect it and we'll put it to the prayer group. In addition, should you have something that's really bothering you this morning and you want a quick little mini spiritual mind treatment, grab any of us who are wearing these wonderful stoles. There's 4 of us here this morning. And we will give you a mini treatment and love you in the process, as we always do. So please, we encourage you to use that. And of course, you have one more task. Once you see the manifestation in your life, whether it's the way you told Spirit you wanted it to happen, or that you see something has unfolded, there's a gratitude card in the chair backs as well. So you could fill that out and put it in the plate. We always love to see those when we get together for prayer. So it's a participatory process. You got it? Good. Now is the time for song, silence, and prayer.
Now I let myself have a new beginning. I'm moving on to a brand new life. It's okay for me to step ahead. So I step ahead to my new beginning. Oh yeah, a new beginning. Now I let myself have a new beginning. I'm moving on to a brand new life. It's okay for me to step ahead. So I step ahead to my new beginning. Oh yeah, a new beginning. Now I let myself have a new beginning. I'm moving on to a brand new life. It's okay for me to step ahead. So I step ahead to my new beginning. Oh yeah, a new beginning. It's okay for me to step ahead. So I step ahead to my new beginning. Oh yeah, a new beginning. Right now, a new beginning.
We come together as one this morning, knowing that each one of us is the perfect manifestation of Spirit, and that we are all one in this process that we call life. We see life unfolding around us in the most magnificent, sometimes unusual ways, and we know that Spirit is in the midst of everything. Spirit is mighty. So this morning I give thanks for each of you being here. I give thanks for the glorious weather and the scenery we have here in Las Cruces, and especially for the people in the community and everyone who comes into the center. I know that I am blessed by you. I am blessed by this philosophy. And I know, truly, when I stand in this place of oneness and glory, I know that all is truly well in the kingdom. And it is so. And so it is. I am reading something this morning that I came across some time ago, and Spirit told me you guys were the people to hear it. So are you ready? It's been lost. It was an original poem that Ernest Holmes, the founder of our philosophy, wrote. And it was in an early edition of Science of Mind, and then it was not put in the current one. It's called, go figure, The Last Poem of Ernest Holmes. This I saw, or else some greater presence made it known to thee. The universe is filled with life, the earth, the sky, the sea, and teemed with intelligence, with majestic and might. Deep within me some subtle inner light beholds and sees, comprehends and knows the all. No fears, no falters, but answers the divine call to be as one, beyond the bonds of time and space, to overcome the bondage of the human race, and to leap with trust, undaunted and free, into the depths of that infinite sea, whose waters calm are ready to receive those who in simple faith believe. And so it is.
All right. We're going to welcome Hannah to do the special music today. This is her first time at the center, and she's new to Las Cruces, so give her a warm welcome.
So, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. My name is Hannah Zara, and I recently moved here to Las Cruces with my husband. We're very happy to be here. It's a beautiful town. We've lived in a couple of places, Nebraska. He's from Mexico City. We spent the last 4 years in Massachusetts. I write songs, and I'm going to play a song that I wrote. Many years ago, I was having a hard time, and I called my dad, and he said something that I really liked that kind of helped me through it. He said, "You know, Hannah, the night is always dark, but the morning is always beautiful." And about a decade later, this song came out inspired by that. Got us some bread to eat. We got us a bed to sleep. It's another trip around the sun. There's another road beneath our feet. Would you come let your cup be filled? Come let your secrets spill. We're tending the fire, we're turning the wheel. And no matter what we do, the night is still dark, the morning is beautiful. Singing the lark, dreaming the wolf, the morning is beautiful. Mine is a simple heart, and my dreams are simple dreams. Would you give me a road to roam? And I want you roaming next to me. Good is this life we share. Good is this love that we can feel. It's we're tending these fires and we're turning the wheel. And no matter what we do, the night is beautiful. Singing the lark, dreaming the wolf. But morning is beautiful. So come on, you crazy fool. The river is wide. The river will carry you. Time's gonna take you either way. So come let it carry you. Come on, you crazy fool. The river is wide. The river will carry you. Time's gonna take you either way. So come let it carry you. So time's gonna take you either way. So come let it carry you. Time's gonna take you either way. So come let it carry you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. What a beautiful message. Wow. What a gorgeous voice. Thank you for sharing that with us. We have to have her back. It's lovely. Thanks for coming to Las Cruces, and welcome to both of you. That was gorgeous. Well, today we also have a wonderful speaker joining us. We always love it when Reverend Bram is with us. Reverend Bram Watkins is a native New Mexican and was raised in La Union, which is also where Yvette is from, so he's saying a lot of their friends are similar. And he's also been in El Paso, Texas, a lot of his life, which is where he is now. Reverend Bram has an MBA from the American Graduate School of International Management in Phoenix, Arizona, a BA in Spanish from the University of New Mexico, a master practitioner degree in neuro-linguistic programming from NLP Learning Systems in Dallas, Texas, and is an ordained interfaith minister by One Spirit Interfaith Seminary in New York, New York. Reverend Bram is a student of the science of mind, a unity teachings, and pranic healing. He has served as a guest speaker over the last 21 years now in local churches in El Paso and Las Cruces. For his complete bio, that's not all. Go to our newsletter and you can see the whole thing. Presently, we are grateful to welcome him back to our platform. Welcome, Reverend Bram.
Get set up here. Hannah and your husband, bienvenidos y bendiciones. Wow, 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 wow. What a gift. All right. Maybe I can make this balance. Again, I've said this a few times. You get a little older, your eyesight changes. Thank God for an iPad so I can see this stuff. Get a little bit bigger there. So namaste, everyone. Good morning. It is great to be back here, and hello to everyone at home and my love in Florida. It has been 53 weeks since I last spoke here, and wow, how a year has changed things. A lot of change going on. Traveling back and forth to Florida to see my wife, work, all the fun things, but I was hoping Yvette was here today, but she's not, so I'll turn and hopefully say it to her when she sees it. Welcome home. Welcome home, and how blessed I am to have you are here at CSL, and for you to share your gifts with us, her voice as well. Ooh, what a dynamic presence we have, and you all, thank you. It takes a little bit of everything, and you're going to find out why I don't sing up here with you all in a few minutes. I've got something for you. So as you all know, the theme for this month is the flow of coming and going. And to me, that sounds like my travel schedule with my wife back and forth to Fort Lauderdale and El Paso. And I recently spent 16 days with my wife in Florida. And you may say, well, that's not such a big deal. until you consider in the 7 years that we've known each other, we've never spent that amount of time together. It's usually about 7 days, maybe 10 days. And so on the last day I was there, I said, gosh, it's gorgeous outside. How about I just push my flight back a few more hours and we'll spend a great day on the beach. And after she finished rolling her eyes back in her head and looking at her watch, so I guess so. We try not to go more than 2 or 3 weeks without seeing each other, which some of my friends think that's just the key to an amazing marriage. 1 week on, 2 weeks off. 1 week on, 3 weeks off. But we do treat each visit together as a honeymoon. And I think you can really tell if a couple is still in love. We hold hands everywhere we go. And if you're holding hands in Walmart, you know you're in love. That's all I got to say. So I've been asking myself, how has the flow of coming and going showing up in my life? And one of the many benefits about living part-time in Florida is that I just noticed we happen to have a beach in our backyard. We live on the beach in Fort Lauderdale. And it's absolutely beautiful. And there's a rhythm to the ocean. Naturally, there's the tide that comes in and out, but the rhythm of the waves crashing on the beach and then slowly in divine timing going back out. I mean, it's just a beautiful rhythm to things. And I'm on a whole lot calmer when I'm in Florida than when I'm here in El Paso. I look around at the palm trees and how they sway back and forth in the constant ocean breeze. Thank goodness there is a constant ocean breeze, which is there. But it makes me think that whether there's a storm or even that occasional hurricane, the way the palm tree gives way, it doesn't resist the storm, but it just allows the storm. And it actually causes the root structure to go deeper and become stronger. Since that palm tree is not rigid, I ask, it makes me think, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I know that sounds crass, but I wonder, do we break by being inflexible in our own thought process in the storms of our life? Or do we become stronger by bending and flowing and allowing things as we encounter them? It makes me think of the difference between Western philosophy and Eastern philosophy. So in Western philosophy, in the pugilistic arts, if you will, boxing, and you see this issue, this challenge, this problem coming at you. And in Western philosophy, we confront it. We go right at it. We see its energy and we go at it. In Eastern philosophy, as I was taught in Tai Chi, you still have to honor and respect that other energy, that challenge, that problem that's coming at you. But then what do you do with it? In Eastern energy, it honors it, and then you just let it flow right by. It's a very different way of looking at things. You honor it, but one is going to cause you a fight. The other one, you don't have to. You just have to recognize it, respect it, and allow it, and step aside if you have to. My wife and I were snorkeling on a coral beach, on a coral reef last week. And I know you see the wind around here and then how the trees move, but it's beautiful to watch the coral flow to the energy of the ocean. It's not objecting to it. It's not rigid. It's not breaking. It's just flowing. The seagrass that the turtles are eating, it also just flows. And so that's how some of the coming and going, the flow I've seen in my life recently. I really enjoyed Yvette's message from a few weeks ago, and I got to say, girl, if you're listening, I do not handle change as gracefully as you do, but that's what we're here to talk about today. I thought it was hilarious. She's standing up here, and because it blows in the spring and everything blooms, and she's up here, stop wind, I rebuke you. That is hilarious to me. And by the way, if you ever figure that out, let me know. But it reminds me of a story one time. My beautiful mom is here with me, and we were up at the lake at Elephant Butte. And we were on the docks, and a storm is coming up. And she's going up and down the dock, and she is just doing her best Charlton Heston and Stop in the Wind and I Rebuke You and Good Energy and this, that, and the other. And by the time that storm had passed, I think half the dock was in Roswell. So, I mean, she didn't stop it that day, but I respect the energy. I respect how you do that. Yvette talked about accepting the reality of change. And do we just survive change, or do we allow change and thrive because of it? That's what I want to talk about today. She reminds us that change is constant, whether we embrace it or not, and the acceptance of change does not mean giving up. I think that's key. When I first received the theme for this month, I immediately thought of, the parable of the farmer, which Yvette talked about a couple of weeks ago. The farmer lost his horse, and all of the villagers said, "Oh, that's so bad." And he said, "Hard to say. Maybe yes, maybe no." And then the horse comes back about a week later with 7 other stallions with it. And all the villagers said, "Oh, you were so lucky." He said, "Hard to say. Maybe yes, maybe no." You know how the rest of that story goes. Are the events in our life, are they good or bad? It's hard to say. Maybe yes, maybe no. The farmer's story highlights the complicated relationship between suffering and well-being, and sometimes what is indeed bad, or what we perceive as bad, like the farmer's son falling off the horse and breaking his leg. Well, that can lead to something good because he didn't have to go off to battle and run the risk of losing his life. This reminds me of one of my favorite sayings, but the only one that's going to get it is our Hannah and her husband. No hay mal que por bien no venga. There's not something bad that happens that something good can't come out of it. Maybe in our vernacular, look for the silver lining in that gray cloud. When I first received the idea of the parable, it made me think, well, where do we give our energy? Is it in fear? Is it anger? Is it in frustration, which is easy for me to do? Or what if I allow this to move me into my next chapter? That's the one I can't get to in the moment, but that's what I strive for. Will we choose to react to the situation, or do we take a deep breath and choose to respond instead? How is it that we just rush to judgment immediately in that moment, and then everything's bad, or everything's this or that or whatever? As we stay open to the possibilities, we'll find that as one door closes, another opens. Loss can lead to new opportunities. So the title of my message today is Shift Happens, Shift with an F, Shift Happens, My Farmer's Story. My Farmer's Story. So here's my most recent version of the farmer's story, especially over the last year or so. In September of 2021, I met a gentleman and hired him as the consultant for my business. And the villagers said, "How fortunate." Maybe yes, maybe no. Within a few months of working together, I found it difficult because I didn't want to give up the reins. And he wanted me to hand over the reins so he could run the business. But I didn't like that. And the villagers said, "How unfortunate." Maybe yes, maybe no. Within the first few months, we were able to hire a new foreman, a new crew, and an estimator. And they are fantastic at what they do. I mean, took us to the next level. And all the villagers said, "Well, how fortunate," because the villagers know how fun it is to try to hire good people these days. To which I said, maybe yes, maybe no. Soon the consultant came to me, and he demanded more money. And the villagers said, "Oh, how unfortunate." I said, maybe yes, maybe no. But we compromised, decided to give. I decided to pay the consultant, the foreman, and the new estimator a percentage of our profits. And the villagers said, "Oh, how fortunate you are." Maybe yes, maybe no. After 1 year, the consultant wanted to purchase my company. And the villager said, "Oh, how fortunate. Maybe yes, maybe no." When I told him the offer was way, way, way too low, he became upset. And the villager said, "How unfortunate. Maybe yes, maybe no." Within 6 months, the consultant threatened to steal my company by taking the crew, by taking the foreman, and taking the estimator. And the villager said, "Holy crap, are you kidding?" No, the villager said, "How unfortunate. Maybe yes, maybe no." I fired the consultant, and the villager said, "About dang time. I mean, how fortunate. Maybe yes, maybe no." The consultant spread lies about my company, which cost us multiple millions of dollars in new construction contracts. And the villager said, "How unfortunate." Millions of dollars of contracts. And I said, "Maybe yes, maybe no." A friend of mine in the same industry that I'm in wanted to partner with me 2 years ago, but he said that my new construction revenue percentage was too high. So all the revenue the company brings in, you have service, you have re-roofs, and then you have new construction. He said, "Your new construction revenue is too high." But he called me again about a year later, this past year, and he said, "Are you still interested in a partnership?" Apparently, losing millions of dollars in new construction revenue actually made our company even more appealing to my partner. So now I have a new partner, which allows me to spend more time with my wife in Florida. And the villagers said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" I mean, they said, "How fortunate." And I said, "Maybe yes, and absolutely yes." By the way, the foreman, the estimator, the crew all saw what the consultant had done and decided to stay with me. For which the villagers and I said, "Thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God." Do we just survive change, or do we allow change and thrive because of it? For me, it's so much easier to go to judgment first, because we think that whatever happens, whatever's transpired is not what we thought would happen. The movie in my life is not the scene that I thought it would be. Real easy for me to get upset about that. So the emotions of fear and anger and frustration quickly take over, and for me, my brain shuts off. Sometimes I just kind of white out, and I have to take a moment or 10 and try not to let the emotion get to me. And the best thing I can do is close my mouth and just chillax so I don't react. I would choose to respond. So what am I allowing? What am I resisting? And then I ask myself, why am I doing this? I found a quote the other day that says, if you are saying something is not possible, what you're really saying is, I don't want it. So how do we reframe that initial emotional response? And how do we change our perspective? I say to allow all the emotions, and then to only think about what you want to create more of. Y'all have heard me say that before. But if we see the ending to something as bad, if we associate sad feelings with the ending of something, then it's going to be difficult for us to accept any new change that comes into our lives. What seems impossible today can lead to something wonderful tomorrow. And so there's a song that came out many, many years ago, at least 20 years ago. And it's got a lyric in it that I absolutely love. And now you're going to find out why I don't sing up here with everybody. It says, "It's closing time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Every new beginning comes from another beginning's end. That wasn't so bad. I can hold a tune. I just hold it way over here. At some point in our lives, to varying degrees, we all resist change. You know how the saying goes, better the hell you know than the heaven you don't. But then I think about how amazing my life is today versus what I thought it would be. You know, God's plan versus my plan. Well, there's no way I'm going to go with God's plan. Absolutely not. Because the way I was raised, I was wrong. I was less than. I was a sinner. I certainly wasn't worthy. Oh yeah, I want to hand over my idea of my life to somebody that's going to judge me like that? No, that didn't work for me. So I just decided, well, do the best you can with what you got. But I am absolutely amazed at what happens in my life when I stop resisting and I just allow, and I see that comes up, because the parable of the farmer's story for me just a few years ago was that my wife and her daughter, we didn't get full custody of her to move to El Paso. I thought they were moving to El Paso 5 years ago. I was beyond devastated. I mean, wrecked, devastated, mentally, emotionally. Just, it didn't do any wonders for my marriage, that's for sure. And now I live bi-coastally between the Rio Grande and the Atlantic Ocean. And the villagers said, "You lucky dog." Do we just survive change, or do we allow change and thrive because of it? A few years ago, Reverend Randy spoke up here, and he talked about surrender in one of his messages. He said about going out into nature and to get still, get quiet, become recalibrated back to the natural flow of energy of the universe. And as I've gone through so much change, I realized that the longer it takes me to surrender to the reality of the situation, the longer it has taken me to process the lesson or the opportunity that challenge brought to me. The longer it takes me to surrender, the longer it takes me to heal. If I would just allow, that's all I got to do is quit judging and allow. Yvette reminded us that we have survived 100% of every challenge we've ever faced. And yet, how is that not good enough? What an amazing track record she talked about. When it's not good enough. Because for a lot of us, I'll find peace when fill in the blank. When I lose 20 pounds. I'll find peace when I find a new mate. I'll find peace when there's a new administration. I'll find peace when the price of eggs go down. Folks, I've seen some of your Facebook posts. Come on now. It's time to start focusing on the solutions, not the problems. Abraham says, no one experiences freedom until they stop pushing against others. The only thing that binds you is the pushing against what you do not want. And so if we could just be excited about what you're doing or what you want, and could just speak with appreciation about what is, without justifying what is by pushing against what you don't want, you could easily attain what you're reaching for. Translation: if you don't like it like it is, don't tell it like it is. Tell it like you want it to be until it be's like you want it to be. Focus on the solution instead of the problem. Even Einstein said the energy of the solution is very different from the energy of the problem. Thich Nhat Hanh says, enlightenment for a wave in the ocean is the moment that the wave realizes that it is water. When we realize we're not separate, but part of the huge ocean. Same thing for us. I think the biggest problem is we don't think that we are together, that we are all one. Anything that I do to me, I do to you. We are one, and that's part of our, we want goodness for everyone. We want highest and best for everyone. So what determines if something is painful or pleasurable is usually based on our past experience. The wise use their memories, but don't allow their memories to use them. Being aware of our past without allowing it to affect our present. Feeling comfort usually arises when our needs are met. Conversely, feelings of discomfort arise when our needs are not met. And stress is how we respond when stuff isn't going our way and our needs are not met. How do we respond? Of all the things that Yvette said a couple of weeks ago, my favorite quote, which she gave us twice: acting from love means we move forward without making enemies of each other. Acting from love means we move forward without making enemies of each other. So what is really meant when we're told we should love our enemies And it means that we recognize the presence of spirit within everyone, even including those who oppose us. When we disagree with someone, how do we respond? Are we loving and kind and try to be understanding, or do we judge and condemn? I love the Edwin Markham's quote that I gave you all last year. He drew a circle that shut me out, heretic, rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that drew him in. Love is always the answer. Reverend Bonnie talked about how do we stand for something and yet against nothing? And her aunt reminded her, well, they can't take away your joy, which is true. All too often, we give it away. That's the problem. Reverend Bonnie said she felt, I'm so glad she said this because, boy, it really rang home for me. She felt betrayed by God, and then she realized she is God expressing. I get that. So who betrayed who? And then she asked the next question, the better question, how are we allowing that to happen? I mean, I realize that I've betrayed myself by not being in alignment, not being in the flow with spirit in the universe, because it's just easier to get upset with somebody else. It's easier to point the finger and blame. But if we are God expressing, it's truly our responsibility, I believe, to respond and not react. How can we be that change that we want to see in the world without resisting what we do not want? That's what she was talking about. How do we keep our joy and be for what we want without being for something that we don't want? She even quoted Reverend Sam, if you're not experiencing joy, I say you're doing it wrong. He says you're not in alignment with God if you're not experiencing joy. That's the key to alignment and flow for me. Only focusing on what you want to create more of. More love, more joy, more harmony, more peace. You can focus on the problem for a while. I'm all for that. But then we've got to shift. We've got to pivot to gratitude, neutrality at a minimum, and then see what we want to create. Reverend Bonnie asked us to ask ourselves not what's in it for me, but what's in it from me. God can only do for us what God can do through us. Reminds me of Wayne Dyer saying, the mantra of the ego is what's in it for me, but the mantra of your higher self is how may I serve? You know, and the whole reason I got up here 21 years ago was to be able to share when I fall and I make huge mistakes and I make them over and over again. And then I finally get back up and I try to shine a light, at least a flashlight, on the path to anybody that to alleviate their pain, to keep them from going through the tribulations that I've had to go through. I mean, after 35 years of studying science of mind and 21 years being up here, I'm no better, I'm no smarter. I'm just up here to try to, how may I serve? What can I do to try to alleviate any pain for anybody else from all the silly things I've done? And then even worse, I forget and have to go through them again. If God were to interact with your prayer successfully, would you know why? And if God did not interact successfully and your prayer was not answered, would you know why? God does not keep us from our good or our heart's desire. We are the ones who are not in alignment with the flow of God's energy. To quote Stanley Jones, he says, if I throw out a boat hook from the boat and catch hold of the shore and pull, do I pull the shore to me or do I pull myself to the shore? Prayer is not pulling God to my will, but the aligning of my will to the will of God. I believe we can disagree without being disagreeable, and we can stay in the flow of our highest and best without needing to put others down or make them wrong. As the Persian poet Rumi said, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field, and I will meet you there. Namaste.
Thank you, as usual. Lots of tidbits, and I love how you wove all of the things we've said. Boy, we got to be careful because he's listening. I love it. And practitioners, while you surround the room with your love for our prayer time, at the very beginning, one of the things he talked about was the difference in the flow of wanting to fight or turning. And I used to struggle with the idea that Jesus said, turn the other cheek, until I thought about the Eastern flow of turning the cheek. Just let the punch go right on past you. So that's how I interpret that now. So let's just see that flow. We've got everybody up and around. Anyone else who wants to join them in providing energy to the room, feel free. Let's just go within. Part of that flow is the listening without and the listening within. Getting fed from without and listening and getting fed from within. And we know that within each and every one of us, we already know all of this. And it is so good to have the reminders. So good when we do fall, when we forget, to know that Spirit is always present, flowing through us, there with a deeper awareness and understanding. So we can open our hearts and minds to that, allow that flow to move in and through us, lift us back up on our feet, light that path before us, and allow us to walk our truth, in the truth of who we are. And so in gratitude, I just let these words of Reverend Bram settle in. The reminders, the visuals, the beautiful idea of a beach and the water flowing, the reeds underneath the water, and just see myself as part of that flow, allowing life to be as it moves in and through us, and holding that higher truth and awareness that we are all one and all in this together. And so in gratitude, I just release this time and these words and this awareness, knowing that it is good and always so very good. And so it is. Thank you, practitioners. Hannah? Is that right, Hannah? Yes, yay.
Reverend, that was lovely. Thank you. I didn't know what I was going to play until you spoke. Well, first of all, I'll play this because it brings me joy to sing it. I read it from my husband, and the ocean is present in it as well. Laughing in the kitchen, cracking jokes and doing dishes in my favorite summer dress. And I couldn't hide that I liked you the best, and I catch you looking at me. Now we're walking by the water, both bracing for the slaughter. You say love ain't always kind, and in truth I had the same thing on my mind. But I trust the hand that pulls me to your side, and I like walking with you. So would you walk with me my winding streets? And can I swim with you your ocean blue? And in the give and take of where we meet, let me spend my days with you. Something between us growing, the whole world set in motion, and lightning is underfoot. And we don't say much, but we both know this is good. And we don't wanna jinx it. But now I'm fighting with my troubles. I'm here picking through the rubble. And you say we can't heal like this. I always was one of those that don't know when to quit. But you go easy, 'cause you know we're both still kids. And we're still going through it. Aren't we going through it? So would you walk with me, my winding streets? And can I swim with you, your ocean blue? And in the give and take of where we meet, let me spend my days with you. Something between us frozen. This old world keeps on going. And they do return the rains. And our world grows green again. Some subtle hand by which we've rearranged our dreams, they might fit together, that they might bear the weather. Now I'm laughing in the kitchen, we're cracking jokes and doing dishes, and how the years go by. And how strong I have grown standing by your side. Just as steady and as changing as the tide is the love that guides us. It's just as steady and as changing as the tide, the love that guides us.
That's beautiful. Beautiful image and a beautiful wrap-up of everything that was said. I mentioned last week the microcosm of being on that ship to the macrocosm of the world, and that song, I think, was a microcosm, a relationship, but it's such a metaphor for all of us. And that I love that place that we meet that she talked about. And Bram, thank you so much for your words. There's a lot for us to take home, a lot of wonderful things to think about and chew on, and just a lot of hope, I think, for bringing together all those sides and knowing that we are all one no matter where we are and no matter what types of relationships we're in. Thank you again, and thank you. Let's give them another big hand. Thank you so much. Woo, it's wonderful. Thank you so much. And now is that time when we consider giving back to this place that supports this beautiful music, these wonderful speakers, and all the information that we get to share here as we feed our spiritual selves to take that out into the world. And this month, we are giving 10% of all in here to the Las Cruces Vet Center. And they offer confidential help for veterans, service members and their families at no cost in a non-medical setting. So we want to give thanks for the work that they do for us as well, and we honor that through 10% this month of everything that comes in is going to support them. So let's say our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, in me. And we will sing our blessing.
I am so blessed have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So just sing that all week. We are so blessed. We're grateful for all that comes in and supports us. My mom used to say money is just love in the form of money. It's just another way of showing our love for the support and the energy and all that is taking place here. We are grateful and we are blessed. And so it is. Thank you. And what are we closing out
We're
with
going to
today?
do Let There Be Peace.
Let there be
Yeah.
peace. If you'd like to stand, you can. We'll sing Let There Be Peace.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our center, and we all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my song of love. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Hey, remember we've got a potluck, and if anyone wants to join the center, see me, and we'll have a new member orientation. And there's prayers from the practitioners. A lot of good. Have a wonderful week. That's not till next month.